CBC recently reported that Tim Hortons has been lobbying the federal government to expand Canada's temporary foreign worker program. And the reason is pretty straightforward. They want access to cheaper labor instead of paying Canadians a real living wage. Now, some people might argue, well, if this program helps Canadian companies grow, maybe it's good for the economy. But that logic falls apart pretty fast because Tim Hortons isn't even a Canadian company anymore. It's owned by Restaurant Brands International, which is controlled by a Brazilian investment firm. So the money isn't even being reinvested into Canadian communities. It's leaving the country. And that brings up a few major issues. The first being worker exploitation. Temporary foreign workers are often not given the same labor protections, job security, or mobility that Canadian workers have. They may feel pressure to accept lower wages or unsafe working conditions because their ability to stay in the country depends on their employer. As Amnesty International Canada puts it, exploitation, discrimination, and abuse are integral features, not bugs, of the temporary foreign worker program. When huge corporations push for programs like this, it creates a two-tiered labor system, one where vulnerable workers can be taken advantage of to maximize corporate profit. So if you're someone who talks about concentrated wealth, oligarchies, or corporate power, this is something that should be setting off alarm bells. These workers are human beings, not a cost-saving strategy. The second issue is job availability for Canadians. Companies act in their own financial interest, and that's not new. So if they're given the option to hire cheaper labor, they're going to do just that. That means fewer jobs available to Canadians. If we truly want a stronger middle class, stable employment, and livable wages, we need companies to invest in Canadian workers, not find ways around them. The third issue is foreign corporations influencing Canadian policy. This might be the biggest red flag. When a corporation that isn't even Canadian is actively lobbying our government to shape our labor policy in its favor, that's a problem. Public policy should be made by Canadians and for Canadians, not by outside corporate interests looking to squeeze every last dollar out of our labor system. Once foreign corporations start influencing the rules, it becomes a really slippery slope, where profit-driven policy slowly replaces people-focused policy. It's a matter of worker rights, economic fairness, and who gets to shape Canada's labor future. And it should not be corporations who would willingly exploit near-slave labor conditions if given the opportunity. We need policies that protect all workers, uphold fair wages, and ensure that Canadians aren't pushed aside in favor of profit-maximizing schemes.